Oh, there she is. I move to return from executive session.
Second.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Ms. Lofton?
Yes.
Ms. Stone?
Yes. And please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Move to adopt the agenda.
Second?
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Ms. Lofton?
Yes.
Ms. Stone?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing for the Anderson Trails Plan. Paul?
All right, good afternoon. This is Case 1, 2023 LUP, which is a land use plan. This is for our Anderson Township Trails and Walkways Plan update. The applicant is the Board of Township Trustees, and the Zoning Commission recommended approval of the plan back in at their meeting in June. A little bit of history on the plan itself was adopted back in the 90s, and it has had subsequent updates ever since. Our last update was in 2018. And from 2018 up to 2023, the plan goals have remained the same. It's integration of walkways into all planning as the township develops and evolves, consistent with the 1986 sidewalk plan. Development of a plan for ongoing funding for the type of infrastructure improvement, and then creation of public recognition of the benefit and support of funding methods which may be developed. These were also carried over into the proposed 2023 update. As far as the process started, in March of 2022, there was a subcommittee that was formed from the Transportation Advisory Committee and our We Thrive Anderson Committee. That was led by our staff, Brad Bowers, at the time. Then we had some staffing changes, and Mr. Severs graciously took over this project and kind of helped lead the project moving forward with the help of Chris Cavallero and then two of our co-ops, Ashley Reynolds and Brandon Cloutier. The subcommittee met bi-monthly since 2022 up until about March or April of 2023. And then at that time, we did have a public engagement meeting on May the 24th. And I should back up. Back in March of back in the summer, fall of 2022, we had in our insights and on the township website and I think on Facebook, just a call for trail segments that were requested from residents, and we took all of those. The subcommittee of TAC and We Thrive reviewed those segments that were submitted by residents, and we evaluated those. And then ultimately, we had our public open house on May 24th of 2023, and then there was a virtual open house that was available on our website during the month of May. On June 1st, 2023, the Township Trustees passed a resolution initiating the adoption process. And then on June the 26th, this was heard by our Zoning Commission, who recommended approval. So a little bit about this plan and the differences that are incorporated into this plan than what was in the 2018 plan. Again, it aims to create a more walkable community by promoting alternative modes of transportation. In the past, it has been a concentration on sidewalks, but now we are implementing more than just sidewalks with paths, trails, crosswalks, and then other infrastructure that supports the trails program. Some fundamental differences or some different focuses with this. We looked at crosswalk improvements throughout the township, so making sure that crosswalks were in place at the appropriate locations. And then it also recommends improving crosswalks over time throughout the township by taking different quadrants of the township and improving those crosswalks throughout, which includes striping, patterns, and potential signalization enhancements. Also, we're looking at on-street striping, incorporating suggestions from corridor studies. So a good example of this was on Woodcroft, where The on-street path is now identified by markers and by striping. Looking at also doing that at other locations in the township where it makes sense. Or so then a sidewalk, where a sidewalk may be not feasible in that particular area. We're also looking at alternatives of, instead of just focusing on county roadways, but also if it makes sense to build a sidewalk on a township street in lieu of a county roadway as an alternate due to cost or just due to infrastructure that is in the way. And this is a good example of this is Rambling Hills, which we currently, just earlier this year built a sidewalk on Rambling Hills instead of building it on Pattison. We also looked at our formula for ranking sidewalk construction. This year, it was decided to go with a buffer of 1,200 feet versus, 1,200 feet versus 4,000 feet. And again, this was to shift more toward a localized approach and also being more cognizant of how the residents would actually walk and use these sidewalks instead of just doing a buffer that didn't necessarily follow the roadway. This buffer specifically followed the roadway of where a pedestrian would actually walk. And then the most substantial change this year is this implementation matrix. And I know it's a little small on the screen, but hopefully in your staff report or in the plan that's in front of you, this gives a year-by-year progression of a sidewalk project, but it also includes crosswalk projects, corridor projects, striping. They're all color coordinated and lays out the plan through 2028 of implementation of this plan. So we were very excited about putting this in the plan. It helps keep staff on task, also helps the residents understand how long a project takes, what's involved with the project from from planning through design and engineering to ultimately construction. So it takes a long time, as you all well know, and some of these projects even take longer than what we intend to due to sometimes factors out of our control. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we're asking, there's a resolution before you tonight for consideration and adoption after our public hearing, but I'll be happy to answer any questions for you.
This looks so nice. It does really give you a nice bird's eye view of why the planning process is so important. Thank you. I move to adopt the. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Anybody, Josh, you got any comments?
No, looks great.
Yeah, I was I'm on the TAP committee this year, so I read every single word of this and made my edits. So it's a good plan, and I think it's really well done. And what your committee and you did and staff did. It's good work. And Steve, thank you, Steve.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
So, okay, any other comments, anyone? Okay, we'll close the public hearing.
Forgot about that.
Now.
Thank you.
With that, I'll move to adopt
I
the
know, I lost it, yeah.
2023 update to the Anderson Township Trails and Walkways Plan.
Second.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Okay, individuals who wish to address the board should state their name and address for the record, make their points as clearly and concisely as possible, and limit their comments to a maximum of 3 minutes, which may not be shared with or yielded to others. All comments shall be directed to the Board of Township Trustees. Thank you in advance for your comments. Bill?
You're from Hyde Park anyway, no one
Yeah,
cares.
you're right. You can talk, you can talk.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no public comments, trustee comments.
None from me.
We had our tree committee meeting on Tuesday, and we were lucky enough to have 2 Anderson High School students.
Oh.
I'm not really exactly sure how I think they might have met someone on the garden tour and then came. They gave really good input, and it was just nice to have a fresh set of eyes. But anyway, staff planted 70 trees and 100 more to go. That's just a really big deal. But also the thought that goes into the fall planning program. So the streets that you're getting repaved or sidewalks are offered a tree. And so the committee Tuesday sat there and put their heads together for what we'll be offering, but focusing on natives. So it's all good stuff. That's it.
Okay. The only thing I want to say is I want to thank Steve publicly for his work on the July 4th parade. It was packed. Anybody who's there knows.
was amazing.
And Lexi was a judge. Thank you, Lexi. So anyway, it's just a really well-run, organized event, and our community loves it. So,
It is. It brings everybody together. Good turnout.
Steve, any comments? I've
It was
never
nice.
seen that many people before.
It was
it was packed.
a big crowd.
Ran out.
And early. I think I drove, what,
There were chairs out.
At
when
like
I drove up
8:30.
By 7:45. People had
yes.
their chairs out.
Yeah,
They wanted
so
their,
like-
they wanted their spot in the shade.
Good stuff.
Okay, Ken.
Thank you. We're about halfway through the calendar year. Actually, we're like almost 75% through the revenue stream year because the second half settlement, we've had advances from that. What we don't have is we don't have our final settlement figures, and we don't have the rollback in homestead monies that come from the state after the settlement's done, usually about a month later. So we're somewhere around 70 to 80% of our collection in revenues because of real estate taxes. As far as expenditures, we always lag a little bit behind, and then we start catching up toward the end of the year. We're somewhere around 35% right now, approaching 50 in a month or two, and then we'll see what happens. Some projects probably will not be done, so we expect to come in under budget. We don't have any appropriation changes, so probably we'll have some toward the end of the year. It's usually when they come. We do not have any minutes to approve, so
Okay.
thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, Margaret, do you have anything?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Paul, you're back up.
So we have two resolutions before you tonight that are nuisance related. The first item, I can pull up a picture, is for a structure on Elston. This is one that has already been declared a nuisance by the trustees. There's a resolution for your consideration. This was a picture taken earlier today, but no action has been taken by the property owner to remove the house, so there's a resolution for your consideration directing its removal.
I move to adopt the resolution ordering the removal of structure declared to be insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective on land owned by Anthony M. Griffin, Jr., located at 2668 Elston Road in Anderson Township, Ohio, pursuant to Section 505.86 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Second.
Mr. Groth?
Yes.
Mrs. Lofton?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you. And we have another resolution for your consideration. This is nuisance abatement for 8167 Woodruff Road for tall grass per 505.87 of the Ohio Revised Code, and then also the removal of a refrigerator that was on the side. We have been unable to contact this owner or locate this owner. There is an LLC that has an address in California, and we were able to contact that LLC, but the folks that answered the phone, that the JKV stands for the initials of a person who says is responsible for this house and who cannot be located. So while the grass doesn't look excessively tall, this is the refrigerator down here. We've had no luck at of getting in touch with them, so we would like to proceed with nuisance for the grass and removal of the refrigerator.
Does anybody live there?
No, it's vacant. The house was sold last year. It was being flipped, but then the LLC now is
It's really cute. Pretty.
hard to, we can't find them.
Move to adopt a resolution determining existence of nuisance on land owned by JKV Workforce 1 LLC located at 8167 Woodruff Road in Anderson Township and providing for notice and remediation pursuant to ORC Section 505.87.
Second.
Mr. Groth?
Yes.
Mrs. Lofton?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's annoying. I'm just gonna go on.
Yeah.
You know, that's a house someone could live in.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's a cute house.
Cute family house. Just sitting there.
Okay. Thanks, Paul. Sheriff's Office, Dave, nothing? Eric? It's that time of year.
Oh.
The salt. The salt.
Everybody wants
In
to
the
talk
middle when
ab-
it's 95
Yeah.
degrees. out.
Everybody wants to talk about salt in the
That's
middle of
right.
July, you know? Okay, so that's the first thing we have up is our 2023 salt bids. And as the board is aware, the past several years, Anderson Township has been purchasing road salt off the Hamilton County purchasing contract. Anderson Township, along with other communities and Hamilton County, gain a bidding advantage by buying salt at an economy scale method to purchase larger amounts. This year, through the collaborative efforts of Hamilton County partnering jurisdictions, a bid was received through Morton Salt Incorporated at a rate of $82.10 per ton. Last year, we paid Morton, who had the same contract last year, at a rate of $82.27 a ton. In a normal winter, we would use up to about 2,500 tons of salt to get through the winter. So as we head into the 2023-24 winter season, I would recommend that we award Morton Salt Incorporated, who had the lowest and best bid price of $82.10 per ton, and that is before you this afternoon for your
So
consideration.
2,500, does that usually get us through? Is that,
Most years, yes, it will. And there's years we won't use that much.
What about last year with that
It was
crazy?
it was a very easy winter though, but no.
Oh, yeah.
Except for
We
the
didn't
big
use
ice.
as much salt
That's
last
true.
year. But we put a rate up there in case we do need it. And we have that much to use.
It's cheaper this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it went up just a little bit,
Oh,
but
wait.
not much.
I'm
Not
looking,
much, just a
oh,
couple
got them
dollars a
backwards.
ton.
Okay.
So,
so if it's left, it's still there, right? Isn't-
yes, yeah, no.
Okay.
I move to authorize the township administrator to re-enter into a contract with Morton Salt, Inc. for the purchase of road de-icing salt under the Hamilton County contract for the 2023-24 winter season at a rate of $82.10 per ton delivered.
Second.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have our Reclamite asphalt rejuvenating application that we do every other year when we pave. So as the board is aware, our current road maintenance program requires us to utilize an application of Reclamite asphalt rejuvenator to help stretch our paving funds. I am recommending that we apply Reclamite asphalt rejuvenator to the select group of streets, which you should have a copy of those streets, for the 23 paving program. We have received a proposal from Pavement Technologies Incorporated in the amount of $146,770.76, with the added 10% contingency of $14,677.07, the whopping grand total of $161,447.83 to perform this application. And that is before you also this afternoon.
So this is done with the,
This
when
is
the
done-
road's paved or after?
This is right after the final paving is done, when we
Okay.
usually like to do this, or within the next spring. So if we can get everything finished up this year, we'll go right over the top of that with the Reclamite.
I move to accept proposal from Pavement Technology, Inc. to apply Reclamite asphalt rejuvenator to the roads for an amount not to exceed $146,770.76 with a 10% contingency of $14,677.07 for a total of $161,447.83. The work will be performed according to the specifications and funded with the state and local fiscal recovery funds money, $88,702.90, and 1994 TIF dollars, $72,744.93.
Second.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Rick?
Good evening.
Hello.
The first of two items tonight from the fire department is a request for the fire department to place on an auction website a substantial amount of obsolete or unfit equipment that we no longer use or has no value to us. It costs nothing for the fire department to go through this process. It's an online auction. The successful bidder pays GovDeal. GovDeal gives us a receipt, identifies who it is, and when the owner pays, they pay a premium that GovDeals keep, and the rest flows through electronically to the township. So I'm looking for authorization to place the rather voluminous list of items that we've collected over the years on that auction site. It won't all go on at once. We're managing it as, this is a first bite at this apple with this company for a while. So we're going to put a limited number of items, make sure we have
Okay.
everything worked out before we move into it.
What's a king pelican case?
That is a plastic Pelican case, like you carry things in.
Okay.
And a king is a type of laryngoscope handle.
Oh, wow. Okay. I move to adopt the resolution authorizing the sale of surplus equipment pursuant to section 505.10 of the Ohio, of the Revised Code, providing for sale of personal property via internet auction.
Second.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank
Have we
you.
used a competing company before, or we've never done this before?
We have done this before.
I
There's a
thought.
couple of companies out there.
Yeah.
One of the biggest issues that we look at is how many views they get and what,
Right.
each one of these companies gets a reputation for a type of equipment they sell. Some sites are better for big vehicles, trucks. Some sites are better for the things that we're selling, the smaller items.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I may, the board authorized the contract with GovDeals
Yes.
previously, and also authorized at our request to work with Hamilton County Auction Site. Hamilton County Auction Site will be used, staff are currently compiling a list of things like old furnishings that we had here that are no longer in use, some old china things and different dishes and furnishings and things that we've had here that we're going to put on that auction site. So we're kind of going, the more technical equipment and larger items like the chief said with GovDeals, and then some of the smaller items will run through Hamilton County, and that list is forthcoming. Staff are compiling that right now. This is a lot of stuff.
It is. Well, it's been several years since we've been on the auction sites. So we're looking for the widest market relative
Yeah.
to the things we're trying to dispose of. So the second item that the fire department has this evening is permission to accept the 2023, requesting permission to apply for the 2023-24 Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program Grant. So these are ARPA funds that the federal government passed down to the state. The OBM of the state set aside a set number of dollars to give to the departments across the state, and they determined through a process that only OBM knows that which departments are eligible, and Anderson was determined to be eligible for approximately $20,500. So we have to go through the process of applying for it, but that is what we're seeking tonight. There's a motion before you for consideration just to apply for those funds.
I move to authorize the Anderson Township Fire and Rescue Department's application seeking an American Rescue Plan Act grant managed through the state of Ohio by the Ohio Office of Budget and Management for essential frontline workers that performed essential work during the COVID-19 pandemic, for which there will be no cost to or matching funds requirement from Anderson Township during the 2023-24 award period.
Second.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for the fire department tonight.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Vicki.
We don't-
Decisions or resolutions, I guess we have them.
We don't have any items today. I would respectfully request that the board remember this, because on August 17th, we will have a lot,
Okay.
an
Okay.
awful lot, because we have some things we're working on that need to be presented to the county auditor before September 1st. So the August 17th agenda will be quite lengthy.
Jam-packed.
Probably the lengthiest agendas in my 29 years.
Oh, really?
Goody.
Heads up.
All
This
right.
week, while I was attending the Public Official Leadership Forum, I talked to a couple of commissioners, one of whom said their average meeting lasts 7 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
And what was our record again?
9 minutes.
Less than 9, I think.
Probably 7 minutes.
We get her done.
Yeah, no
Okay.
7-hour
Thanks,
meetings
everyone.
here. Thank you.
Thank you. Should I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. Our next meeting will be on August 17th. As you heard, it'll be a long one. Please
Thank
join
you.
us.